Yes, I think so. I think it's clear that we're seeing the service requirements of households have been upgraded to the giga era. It's very clear that there's a strong growth in gigabit and multi-gigabit subscriptions. That's very much a global phenomenon. And at the same time, we do note that more and more operators are kind of ceasing their investments in GPON and moving towards XGS or XGPON deployments only. So I think that's an important trend. And then going forward, and right now, we're seeing lots more operators testing, verifying, and looking at early commercial launches for 50G PON technologies, which provides a further performance boost. And I think a lot of what is driving all these developments is on the application level, so new kinds of applications that require more capacity, better network performance, so things like XR, gaming, new kinds of video formats and so on. These are important drivers of these changes. Yes, I think very interesting. So one clear trend, for instance, that we're seeing at Mobile World Congress this year is the growing importance and prominence of AI. And that certainly has the potential to generate large volumes of traffic. It certainly makes content creation easier, de-skills it. So that can be an important driver. I think as well, different video formats are important here. So 3D video without glasses can certainly have an impact on bandwidth consumption and bandwidth needs. And those needs might also be increased if multiple viewpoints are there for the video as well. That can more than double or more the bandwidth requirements. And I think as well, for 10G BPS access, that could be supported with 50G PON and a combination of Wi-Fi 7 and fiber to the room. That could be an interesting solution that might allow you to deliver 10 gigabit per second to different rooms within the house. And I think it's very interesting and important to note the strong growth in Wi-Fi 7 support across smartphones, and that is clearly something that increases the value of Wi-Fi 7 and brings forward this movement to the 10 gigabit per second age. "10 gigabit per second access will certainly become a requirement in the AI era. That's something very important, I think. And at the same time, we see that those 10 gigabit per second connections that might be required to support AI, those could be delivered via 50G PON networks. And at the same time, 50G PON will provide sufficient capacity even for future AI applications that might require even higher bandwidths. So I think the central point here is that 50G PON, even in this new age, offers you a future-proof solution. So I think it's interesting to look at 50G PON as a technology. It can certainly offer a number of benefits. So it would allow operators to comfortably offer symmetrical 10 gigabit per second plans. I think that's important. I think it can be a contributor to lower latency as well. Latency is something I think that is growing in importance. And at the same time, one of the keys for 50G PON is the ease of deployment. So for instance, without having to change your optical distribution network, that can too be one of the advantages of 50G PON, the easiness with which it can be deployed. Yes, I think it's an interesting question, and I suppose the first point here is that we see that in this kind of new era, 10 gigabit per second connections, that's really kind of the base fundamental level here. I think there are some other points as well. So there is a need for the OLT to adapt here to, for instance, provide a more deterministic experience, so to be aware of the applications that are being used and then potentially to offer slices of capacity on the network for those particular applications. So I think all of that is really important. But also going forward, I think as we move to 50G PON, new PON technologies, that increases the value of some of these other things because it gives you more abundant capacity and more flexibility in terms of network slicing. I think one other important point to consider here is around Wi-Fi 7. So certainly that offers significant performance improvements, but there are still going to be challenges in terms of signal attenuation. So what we might see and what we're beginning to see is sort of FTTR, fibre to the room, combined with Wi-Fi can really offer this kind of more guaranteed and premium experience.